Right, welcome to part 4 of my little toy review. This one is actually going to be a bit of a shout out. Actually, it's you'll see why in a second. Actually, you'll see why now. This is for a certain person who has recently died. This is actually a shout out for Paul Walker's family, and my condolences to, you know, obviously mother losing her husband, son losing their dad. But if it's any consolation to you, I never met him, but I've seen pretty much seen some of his films, and he was brilliant in all of them. And from what I'd seen on things like YouTube and in the papers and interviews and such, he seemed like a genuinely nice bloke, and he always had a smile on his face. And it's sad to see what happened and all that. But this one is just a shout out to him. So wherever you are, Paul Walker, I hope you've got a smile on your face and you're looking down on your family. So rock on. So hence the reason why I bring this out. Now this, let's bring it back, is a movable, a model version of the Toyota Supra from the original Fast and the Furious film that Paul Walker drove in his race against Dominic Toretto at the end versus the train, and briefly in Race Wars, and actually he didn't race it in Race Wars, he was going to, and the scene where the lorry is being attacked by Dom, Mia, no, not Mia, Letty, Vince, and Leon, because Jesse has disappeared. And then obviously Brian and Mia come along in this skit. Now, as I said, this is a die-cast model, so as you can see, it's actually got very good detail on it. So you can see all the graphics as they are. Even as I quite like the fact that it's even got like the little indicators, although they don't work, but the wheels actually do turn properly from inside the car. I'll show you that in a minute. Roof is detachable. It's just a couple little clips. I haven't dusted this in ages. And then if you open up the boot, you can actually see it's got 2 nitrous tanks, and I'm assuming that those are subwoofers in the back. And if you look carefully inside, little yellow pieces inside are the actual roll cage, assuming it needs one, and obviously the spoiler in the back. And then it's got the little graphics on the back with the license plate. And then if we bring it around to the front, gently, what was that? Something's rattling around in it. 2 secs. That's not a good sign. Oh, there it is. The interior mirror's fallen off. Hang on. There we go. Come on, in you go. You want to. There we go. Right, so inside of the engine bay, you can see, if you can just see, we've got obviously all the engine, but it's chromed in like a high detailed plastic. The bonnet doesn't list up any higher on this, so I'm sorry about that. But you can see all the different working parts. So you've got things like the air filter, the camshaft, the engine block. I'm not a mechanic, so I'm just guessing at best. Then it's obviously got the air vent intake at the top and the little design of it. And then, if I can, very skillfully not be able to do this, you can just about see, I can see inside. I know it's no consolation to everyone else, but God, this really does need a dust. But inside you've got the I have to describe it. So you've got the little let's see it from the front. So this little piece here is the little nitrous indicator. So at the moment it's on, I think it's on about 80%. The steering wheel actually does turn the wheels properly. So that's one part. Yeah, what have I done to this? The only thing I have done on this, and this was by sheer accident, was the one of the wiper blades broke off, but because they're already black, you wouldn't even know they were there. So I kind of got away with that one. And then on the underside, you can actually see all the details. So you've got the exhaust pipe, then you've got the manifold, and it's like, I actually don't know what most of these bits are, So I mean, obviously you've got the springs. These are actually fixed in, so this doesn't move at all. Um, I could guess, but like I said, I'm not a mechanic, so I don't know. Who's made by? It is made by, well, licensed and distributed by Universal Studios, and it's by Racing Champions. This is made in 2002, made in China, and actually all the tires have got the actual proper, all the grooves on it. So that's it. So that's it. There we are. So that's basically the detail on the base. Obviously, real cars don't have screw holes in the bottom like that. Otherwise, it would make my changing bits of my car a hell of a lot easier. Yeah, this is quite a very nice car actually. I was going to get, I can't remember if I bought this or if I got it for Christmas or something. I was considering at one point getting the green Mitsubishi at the beginning of the Fast and Furious 1, but I was never able to find it. So, well, I say I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it for a decent price. Okay. So I wasn't able to find this for a decent price, which is why I stuck with this one instead. You can, I'm told, you can buy the Dodge Charger that Dom drives at the end. Now, I don't know if that is true, but if it is, that would be really cool. I would like to get the Mitsubishi if I can, but I'm quite happy with this one because this is the one that I prefer from the film, rather than the actual Mitsubishi itself. And I didn't realise that these were actually. I always assumed that these were cars that were made for the film. As it turns out, they're not. I actually watched many years ago a piece on the actual DVD when I bought Fast and Furious 1, which I reviewed a few months back on my top 10 favourite films, which this is why I've brought this back out. There's a little interview, and it actually says that the cars that are in that film are actually owned by already existing racers and people who do up cars like this. So this was someone's car. See, that actually belongs to someone, and he basically, when they were doing the film, they held auditions for cars, and he brought us along, and they really liked it. So they made a replica, and then they made a replica of the Toyota that I've got here, and then they apparently made a replica of the Mitsubishi that blows up, the green one at the beginning, where Johnny Tran and his cousin, come along and they basically shoots it and make it blow up, etc. That's what I heard and watched anyway. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but what am I going to say? Okay, next one. I'm going to leave that on here because I've got a couple of bits to sort out real fast, so I'll be back in a minute for part 5.